name is Dr. Aidan Elliott, and this is the Complete Guide to Shakespeare. The second theme that I want to explore in Macbeth is fate. I will discuss its role in the story and highlight key quotes that you can use in tests, essays and examinations. Fate can be defined as events outside a person's control, predetermined by a supernatural power. So the key question we need to ask is this: are the developments in the play predetermined and outside Macbeth's control, or does he exercise free will? In this play, supernatural power is represented by the three witches, referred to as the Weird Sisters. Now, the word weird had a very specific meaning in Shakespeare's time. It meant claiming the supernatural power of dealing with fate or destiny. It does not just mean rather strange or peculiar, as it does today. And so the Weird Sisters, the agents of fate, then meet Macbeth and say, "All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter." What's important here is the rhythm of the words and the order of the announcements. The repetition of words and phrases at the beginning of successive lines, "All hail Macbeth, hail to thee," is called anaphora. It makes the lines sound almost identical and creates a connection between three ideas. He is Thane of Glamis, he will become Thane of Cawdor, and then he will become king. One follows the other. So when he hears moments after this that he has been made Thane of Cawdor, it makes the idea of becoming king more believable. Now, of course, we already know that he has been made Thane of Cawdor from the previous scene, which is Act 1, Scene 2, line 65. This use of dramatic irony, telling us something that the characters don't know, helps us to empathise with Macbeth because we think he's being deceived. Banquo then questions the witches about his own future, and they tell him, "Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none." Now, get here means to create children. It's short for beget. The important distinction here is that they say Banquo's descendants will become kings at some point in the future, but that he will not become king. This is what "though thou be none" means. So Banquo can't do anything about this prophecy, and so it can't be something that he uses his free will to effect. Now, in contrast, Macbeth can take action to become king. He has a choice, and that is what makes him interesting. To be king stands not within the prospect of belief. Stands not within the prospect means he cannot see the possibility of this event occurring. So why does he think that becoming king is impossible? It's because kings were thought to be appointed by God, and Duncan will only be replaced when he dies. So there are only two possibilities. Either Duncan says Macbeth can succeed him as king, or Macbeth has to find a way of removing him. Now, a few lines later, Macbeth says, "My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man, that function is smothered in surmise." He has imagined murdering Duncan. This is what thought fantastical means. And this murderous thought has so disturbed or shaken his mind that he cannot act or function. He can only think, which is the meaning of the word surmise. Note also the idea of a single state being shaken. His body is seen as a single entity, a bit like the country of Scotland, which becomes unstable when it is divided. In short, he wants to kill Duncan, but he can't. He knows murder is wrong. The next quote is, "If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir. Chance means fate. Without my stir means without him taking action, i.e. without using his own free will. He hopes that fate will make him king rather than him have to take action. But then Duncan drops a bombshell. He says, "We will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm." Establish our estate upon means giving Malcolm the position of king when Duncan dies. So there are now two people between Macbeth and the crown, the rightful king Duncan and his rightful heir Malcolm. Macbeth will now need to take action to get what he wants. He cannot just hope that fate will act on his behalf. Lady Macbeth then says, "Glamis thou art and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised." She has none of Macbeth's uncertainty. Her use of shalt, an archaic form of shall, expresses a firm intention. It's powerful because it implicitly suggests they will take action to make sure Macbeth becomes king. But Lady Macbeth does have a major reservation about Macbeth. "Yet I do fear thy nature, it is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way." The milk of human kindness suggests gentleness and reminds us of breastfeeding and motherly love. She's suggesting that he's too gentle to do something morally wrong. And I want you to notice this distinction, because he's killed people to protect Scotland, something morally acceptable. But he will need persuading to commit regicide. Regicide means the killing of a king, because this is morally unacceptable. This again suggests that he has a choice, though, over his actions. And it is Macbeth's fight against his conscience that fascinates us. He says, "If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success." The image conveys Macbeth's desire to interrupt the normal connection between cause and effect. If only he could kill Duncan without any bad consequences. The verb to trammel means to catch in a net, and his surcease means the death of Duncan, and success means Macbeth succeeding him as king. But the use of the word "if" here tells us that Macbeth really knows all actions do have consequences. And because he can't control these consequences, Macbeth concludes, "We will proceed no further in this business." And it is at this point that Lady Macbeth intervenes. She says he is afeard and a coward and needs courage. This assault on his manliness is the spur that convinces him to kill Duncan. Fate does not predetermine his decision. He's persuaded by Lady Macbeth. And before he murders Duncan, Macbeth sees a vision. "Is this a dagger that I see before me, the handle towards my hand?" Now, why is this quote important? This dagger is, at this moment, just a product of his subconscious mind. It is the decision to use an identical dagger that is real, which moves it from being a thought to an act. This is when he exercises his free will. It's the turning point of the play. And the rest of the play then focuses on Macbeth trying to contain the consequences of his actions. So the important thing to recognise here is that the moment he uses the real dagger to kill Duncan is the moment he exercises his free will. So do look out for some of these features as you read, watch and study the play, and I hope this brief video has given you some new insights that will help you to get greater enjoyment from Shakespeare's Macbeth. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe now so that you never miss any of my future posts.